One truck driver is thankful he had his Byrna when he encountered a threatening man on the job. Brenda here with Byrna Technologies. Listen to what he said caused him to pull out his Byrna. Ron says the incident all started when he was arriving at his final destination towards the end of a shift.
In trucking, you're only allowed to drive so many hours a day. So I arrived at the end of my shift, and I'm not allowed to drive my truck more than 3 miles per hour. Otherwise, it kind of clicks in with logging devices. Another truck driver did not like how slow I was going, so he came around me, which was fine. And he was probably in dock 40, and I had to go clear down the road to dock 100. As I was passing him, I'm now inhibiting him from backing into the dock because I'm driving so slow, and I guess it really upset him.
Ron says when the man passed, he began to yell profanities, so he told him he could only go a certain speed and apologized.
And I don't know if he didn't understand what I said or if he just heard me yelling, but he immediately set his truck brakes and got out of the truck, was standing next to my door, and was yelling at me, telling me he was, wanting to beat me up, kick my butt, whatever.
He prepared to continue forward, paying no mind to the driver when he said he did the unthinkable.
He reached out, he grabbed my door, opened my door, and I have my gun mounted right above my head, in a Velcro holster, and it was, just instant quick. I mean, I grabbed it, I got a Surefire laser and a flashlight on it with the strobe, and I lit him up and, had it on there, and he immediately threw his hands up in the air and started walking backwards to his truck, and I lowered my Byrna down below the window of the door at that point, thinking, okay, it's over.
Ron said the driver exited his truck again and threatened to call the police.
I thought to myself, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, is this guy really going to be stupid enough to call the police after what he did? Is he going to play the victim card?
Ron dialed 911 and asked if they had received a call about a man with a gun, and when dispatchers confirmed him, this is what he said.
Felt like I was Walter White in that show Breaking Bad, where I said, well, I am the danger. I told him, I said, I am the man with the gun. However, I said, it's not a firearm.
He placed his Byrna visibly in his truck and stepped outside, waiting for police to arrive. Ron said an officer asked what happened and took a look at his Byrna.
Showed him, I said, here's my Byrna, and they looked at it. He tried to rack the slide. I told him, no, it's not an actual firearm. I said, it looks like it, but anyway, he looked at it and he said, oh, that's really cool, and this is all you have. And I said, yeah. So basically, they didn't do anything with me.
After speaking with both drivers, Ron says police asked if he wanted to press charges, but he declined.
His family don't need to suffer for some stupid thing that he did, and we all get mad out here as truck drivers. I've been out here 30-some years.
As a military veteran, he said he's been around guns his whole life, but would have been hesitant to use one in this situation.
So I really don't know what I would have done if I didn't have the Byrna. Having the Byrna, though, really gave me that peace of mind, knowing that we're both going to go home at the end of the day. He may not be feeling as good as I would be, but I knew that I wouldn't be taking him away, from the world, really, for just... most of the time people just, they're not out to really kill you. I mean, I know there are times that you need a real firearm, but I think in most instances, people just, they're not thinking and they just do something stupid. So having the Byrna gave me the peace of mind that I can use it, not have to worry about going to jail, and not having to worry about actually taking a life.
Hey guys, Ricochet. Welcome back to the channel. Hope y'all enjoyed that video. That was an interview about a year ago. Byrna Technologies reached out to me when they found my video online of an incident that happened to me in, I think it was St. Joseph, Missouri. I'll post a link to that original video in the description, and I recorded that literally right after it happened. And I don't know, somebody, either they found it or somebody sent it to Byrna, and they reached out to me and wanted me to do an interview. I'm sorry, I've got a new microphone system, lavalier mic system, so I may have been talking a little loud. So hopefully this will be okay for you. But the reason for this video is, of course, security on the truck, especially now. We're seeing all the riots all over Chicago, and I go there. Well, I haven't been there in a while. I used to go there a lot. I've been pretty much hanging out down in the southern part of the country. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me get a drink here really quick. All right. I'm in Colorado. I just left Denver. That load I took, the last load I did, I got out of Florida. I went to Dallas and I flew over the poultry plant or whatever that was. We got out of there really quickly and reloaded a whole trailer load of Snickers and Heath bars and all sorts of candy and brought it up to the Kroger facility down in Monument, Colorado, which is basically Colorado Springs. And we unloaded there yesterday and drove up to Aurora, and I picked up this morning at the Richardson Dessert Company. If you follow my videos, I did a highlight of them as well. They were one that I did going out to Lumberton, North Carolina, and I picked up at the exact same place, but brought a load right back to where I picked up at. So they basically just swapped stuff, but that was great. In and out of both places, not having to drive anywhere, getting reloaded at the same spot you're getting unloaded makes life very easy. This one is going down to the same place in Lumberton, but I'm going to be really close to being out of hours, and my son's 20th birthday is on Monday. I'm going to deliver this Friday, so I've already got a connector run picking up Friday, delivering not far from my house Saturday, and then we'll be home for the weekend and for his birthday. Man, I feel old. He's 20. Anyway, back to the reason of the video. So Byrna reached out to me. They did the little interview. That video has got 10, 15,000 views, I guess. It was a pretty hot topic with this security device. Going up and down to Chicago or New York, I mean, really, it can happen anywhere. A lot of drivers are unfamiliar with carrying firearms across state lines in a truck. There are no restrictions with DOT. Now, if you're with a private company, they may restrict you, but the law doesn't. As long as it's basically considered your house, or like traveling with it in a car, you can carry it and check your own. Check on your own. Go to the website, federal website, I'm sure, out there for firearm transportation. But I haven't really found anything. However, this is mine. This is a Byrna HD, which stands for Home Defense. Basically looks like a Glock. I do have a Surefire light and laser on it. And so it's got both a regular light and, of course, it has just the anyway, I'm driving, so I'm not going to go through it all. It's got a strobe, it has the red laser, and it has the regular flashlight. The only difference is you can see the barrel is a lot bigger than a real gun. This is a .62 millimeter, I believe is what it is, and it shoots pepper balls. It's a CO2 cartridge. Underneath the barrel, you'll see this little area here. It takes the small little cartridges, and that cartridge is enough to shoot approximately 25 rounds before you need to reload it. Now, this, of course, isn't a gun that you're going to be using in a firefight. It's not a tactical weapon that you're going to, go out and, take out 20 or 30 people. This is basically a 5-shot, or 6 if you chamber one and put 5 in there, and that's the way I do it. And, you know, you got 6 rounds. So let me eject this here, and I'll show you what these are. This here's the clip. This is the ball that it shoots. This here is a plastic kinetic ball. It's just a solid, kind of like a BB, only a lot bigger, coming out a lot harder. And this green and blue ball, this is a OC tear gas and pepper ball. So it's pepper and tear gas. And it's a pretty strong mixture. And I had one fall on the floor. That's all I need to do is step on that sucker while we're here. All right, I pulled over and got it. That wouldn't have been good, stepping on that pepper OC there and blinding me while I'm traveling down the road. There are a lot of videos on YouTube that you can go take a look at that will get into the real in-depths of this, and a lot of people volunteer to be shot with this. After watching them, I ain't gonna do it. It looks really nasty, guys. I mean, the kinetic ball alone. Another type of ball that I also have that I use is a steel ball that's coated in rubber. And it'll go through. I mean, it'll hurt you. It can break a rib if you're close enough, you know, several feet. But these firearms, or not, it's not even a firearm, but I'm going to call it a gun. It's not a gun. This pepper ball device, which looks like basically, I think, like a Glock 21, and it's great. It's got an accuracy up to 65, 70 feet, and I have mine staggered. I've got a kinetic solid round is the first thing that's going to come out. That's basically my my warning shot. You know, hopefully that'll get your attention and stop you from progressing. Of course, if not, then you're going to get hit with that OC, and then I have another kinetic, and then I have 2 more OCs at the bottom. So I've got a total of 3 kinetics and 3 pepper balls altogether, because I keep 1 in the chamber and 5 in the magazine. And as fast as you can pull the trigger, it'll come out. Built in to the magazine, on the back of the magazine, is a Allen wrench. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little Allen wrench, and like I said, I'm not going to break this down and show it all. There's so many other videos that can do that better. This is basically kind of telling you what I use and why. But that Allen wrench that's built into your magazine is what unscrews the CO2 cartridge, and you just drop another one in there, screw it back on. They do have options now, and they may be making the new ones with it where you can just tie. It's got a finger screw on it, which makes it a lot easier. And I think there's even an adapter that you can purchase if you have one of the older ones. This is one of the older ones. They've got the new ones now called the Byrna SD. They've got several options. They've got really cool wraps. They got a red, white, and blue flag wrap that goes on these that I'm going to purchase for mine. And they got the thin blue line wrap and some camo apps. The guns come in different colors, neon green, neon pink, orange. You know, if you want to just, for more safety. I chose the black for a reason. I want it to look like a real firearm. I want it to look like a real gun, because of the intimidation factor. You know, when you're out here on the road, and like I said in the video, most people are just doing something stupid. I mean, if you're in a situation, you know, that warrants a real gun, I don't get into that very often, and most people don't get into that situation. So to only have a real gun that you would have to use may be an overkill situation a lot of times. But trust me, I mean, I carry a real gun. What I carry is something that most people would not want to carry. It's a High Point 380. But there is a method to my madness on that High Point. It's a $100 gun. It does have a lifetime warranty on it. They'll fix it for life. And I've never had an issue with it. It's been accurate. It's been consistent. It's just been overall a decent weapon. Now, I would certainly not use it as a everyday carry, or if I was, needing something, for a lot, like if I did get into whatever, a long-term firefight or something. I don't know if I could trust it, but who knows? I may. But if for some reason I do have to use it and it gets taken away from me, from law enforcement or whatever the case may be, oh well, it was only $100. I'm not going to put at risk my SIG or my other firearm. I'm not going to put those at risk if I don't need to. More of a everyday carry that I would use for more other type of things. But the Byrna is awesome because there is no restrictions. You can pretty much take it anywhere because it's not a firearm. I carry mine concealed, and if somebody does see it, because it's not a firearm, it's not a gun, there are no permits, there's really nothing they can say. Now, private property, if you're on private property, they can still ask you, of course. You still don't want to carry it into a federal building or anything like that, but for the most part, it's pretty much unrestricted. And if you do use it, and you're using it for what it's intended for self-defense of yourself or somebody else, you're not going to have an issue. For the people who's afraid of firearms, this is not loud. It's about the loudness of an airsoft paintball gun. I mean, it's got a little crack to it, but nothing like a firearm. And there's no kick to it. So if you're afraid of the kick or whatever, this may be something good for you guys to kind of start getting familiar with firearms. Maybe you wanted something else and you just didn't want to jump into spending, over $1,000, $2,000 for, a decent gun. This year's about $350. And there's a whole lot of accessories you can get with them. They also got some that look like an AR-15. It's got a lot more capabilities. I'd really like to get me that one, but it's almost $1,000. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll just get a real AR-15. I can build my own. But anyway, that's what I use on the truck, guys. And I've only had to, I actually physically used it. I mean, I never had to shoot anybody. I physically had to pull it on that one gentleman that was in the interview, and somebody else just saw that I had it on my waist, and in a little bit of an altercation, a little bit of a heated argument, I guess. It didn't even get to the point of cursing at that point. It was just elevated, kind of going in that direction. But I did notice that he was able to see that I had this under my shirt. My shirt was kind of up, and he was able to see it, and it de-escalated pretty quickly. So, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. I will be doing a video probably next week when my son is with me. I will do another video with that. I'm going to show you how I break it down, how it loads, how it shoots. We'll do some accuracy, some target practice, and I'll have my son with me so he can hold the camera, a lot of things, but we'll get into more in depth. But go check out a couple of the videos that are on YouTube about the Byrna, see what you think. I tell you, the one thing I always say is when you see somebody hit with this OC gas ball, man, I mean, their sinuses their nose starts running, their eyes are swollen shut, they can hardly breathe, or it feels like they can hardly breathe, they're burning, they're snotting, they're sneezing, they're coughing, they're hacking, they're flopping on the ground like a fish for a good 20 minutes. I mean, this is some nasty shit, guys. It's not just the little mace or whatever that you have in your keychains. This is some professional grade stuff that you don't want to get hit with. And the welts and the bruises that it leaves on you don't feel good either. But you know what? He's going to go home at the end of the day alive. You're not going to get charged with murder. How many times do we see the victim playing in self-defense go down? Like, well, look at that bodega worker in New York not long ago. Remember, they were going to charge him with murder of that guy that was robbing him. So that's another reason why. And when those police got there, as you saw in the interview, you know, I told them what it was. They saw it. They talked to the other guy, basically said, you know, it's so sad for him. He shouldn't have, you know, opened up his door, and everything was great, you know. So I'm not going to jail. He's not going to jail. I don't want to kill somebody that's just kind of had a bad day. And that's really all I run into in the areas that I do. So, I mean, you know, the places I go to are usually commercial, industrial. You know, I don't go down into the hood, or I don't go into areas where there may be people with, you know, guns that want to do me harm. So that's why I'm saying, you know, most of the time it's just somebody doing stupid. Now, depending on if I was not in the trucking environment and I was going downtown or something like that, well, you know, then I may want to carry my real everyday carry. But I'm just talking specifically home security, truck security, personal protection around the truck stops, the shipper receivers if you need it, you know, walking to and from your truck. This is an awesome device to have, and everybody still gets to go home. You don't take the life of somebody and you know, let their kids grow up without a dad for just being stupid, or their wife have to now, you know, go to work. I mean, taking the money person away from the family. I mean, those were all the things that I didn't want to interrupt. You know, we all do something stupid. So anyway, guys, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and we're heading to North Carolina. I got today and tomorrow to get there, and it's about a 27 hours. So I'll probably finish up the last 3 or 4 hours Friday morning, and then I got time to make it over to my other spot by 3 to pick up, and we're going to boogity woogity home for a birthday party. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.